Hola familia estelar. This is such a powerful reading. It's such a powerful message for a powerful being. And we have some astral travel messages from almost about a week ago that I've been guided to actually share today. And it's very interesting because there was a storm that was incoming, and it's almost like it's entered into a different trajectory and it's no longer heading this way, which is super interesting. So there is a secret ordering. It also feels like something is approaching you right now, like something is being summoned or called forth into your reality, and it's definitely a shift or change of atmosphere from what it is that you had expected. So I'm hearing like expect unexpected shifts. It definitely gives me a Tower card energy, but it's almost as if the Tower is over much faster than you think, and I'm just seeing the Star card appear on the other side, which is optimism. It's definitely renewed vision of some kind, and it's becoming healed and whole, right, with the soul. Anyway, there's an integration process or something that's going to be happening. I'm hearing like it's an abrupt change that you're going to have to integrate quite quickly. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and talk about it. So I was seeing there was the end of a world storm, and only a select few people were able to decode the meaning, right, of this storm, and they were hiding in this place or in this cave until the storm passed. One of the sites that they had made it to was 𝓤𝓪𝓬𝓪𝓷𝓬, and that's the Church of the Ancestors. And if you guys have watched the 𝓤𝓪𝓬𝓪𝓷𝓬, you know, in that message, I was literally talking about how it's detaching from the construct of this matrix. It's not about escaping this world, but seeing through the illusions of separation of it clearly, and remembering that you have created this universe for you to come and play within. And, you know, this is source experiencing itself through your subjective lens, incarnating into this dimension limited avatar in order to be able to experience life in this terrestrial plane. Anyway, and then this person teleported into an Egyptian site, and you went back to the site and you made it through this attic, and you realized that when you returned to the outside world, you were no longer in survival, but you were in a season of thriving because of what the storm had brung. And everybody was able to return to the land, but with this renewed vision and security and stability that was found within and not without. And then you realized that not everyone could come with you, or not everyone had come to this realization. So you had to bring minimal clothes, and you only could bring what was needed. So with the end of the world storm, it is not destruction, but it's more about a collective personal purification cycle that we're moving through, where this storm is clearing out outdated frequencies, right? It's like flushing out these lower and dense, thought forms that have been reinforced generationally, ways that you think about yourself, ways that you feel about your journey on Earth. I'm just seeing that alchemize into, higher frameworks of viewing and feeling about this existence. And only a select few could decode the hiding place, which shows that you're able to perceive through the illusion and act from a place of intuition rather than being led by fear. And for you, it does mark almost like a third dimensional timeline split that's happening, where you're separating from an old timeline, maybe like an old way of feeling, and the storm is approaching right now because I'm hearing thunder. So this is like so on par, because I was like, I knew it was going to rain. I just knew it, even though I checked the weather. And I was like, my intuition is saying otherwise, just look at all the grey clouds in the sky, but I was still being summoned to come up. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have pulled this message today or shared this astral message. But it does talk about, again, it's like you're ascending into a higher crystalline consciousness, right? And once something crystallizes, it's being reinforced over and over again. So these are you rewiring old belief systems, right, that you're beginning to anchor through this vessel. And again, with 𝓤𝓪𝓬𝓪𝓷𝓬 plus the Egyptian site, it does talk about, these are two stargates that I was seeing essentially. And a stargate is almost a wormhole. It is a kinetic velocity generator. It's also known as a time matrix. It's really where you begin to transcend the concept of time, and you return back to the fact that you were timeless consciousness navigating this construct temporarily through form, right? And it's like the merging of this celestial mirror, the upper world and also the lower world. So being able to see yourself as non-physical, but also having a physical experience. So you're moving between these kind of different temples and coming back into this remembrance, and you're able to kind of shift your perspective when it comes to how you, again, are seeing yourself. I'm just seeing someone see themselves in the mirror, but they recognize that they are the mirror in eternity staring back at itself, right? And the hiding place in the attics, and the higher you go in buildings in the metaphysical realm, it talks about ascending to higher frames of consciousness, right? So this is talking about the subconscious mind. It's talking about the crown space. It's being able to have your biggest filter perception become your crown chakra when viewing this third dimensional plane. which means that you are viewing it through the lens of your higher self, right? You're navigating obstacles and these sudden pivots as your higher self would, which is just asking yourself, you know, what would be the highest expression when it comes to how I want to respond to this specific circumstance. And then you returned to being able to, again, feel safe within and thrive. So this is almost spiritual refuge that's coming through higher awareness that you're able to anchor into the here and now. And yeah, we have some really beautiful energies that are coming through. Again, old versions of yourself that are still anchored into density are things that you're transcending right now, or at least you're gaining a transcended type of view. But the world isn't ending, it's folding into a high octave. So you could be literally, I'm hearing, in alignment with experiencing a higher framework of viewing this existence. You know, it reminds me of shifting into the 5D, but the thing is, the 5D is not an external location, it's an internal frequency, right? It's a filter of perception that you view this reality through. So it's where you no longer see life through the lens of the matrix, which is separation, but you see yourself in everything, everyone, right? You are the one source experiencing itself through infinite countless forms, right? Infinite countless life forms. The first message you have is star gathering, stars aligned, remembering home and soul family. So I feel like you are calling in almost like this constellation or this network of, I'm hearing people that are bringing forth new experiences. And this is all the star card energy, right? It's like 11th house, where the cosmos grants you wishes through your connection networks to others. And it's also future objectives, right? Where people have a very similar future vision to you, and it is like the future self walking itself back in a linear fashion to watch the unfoldment of its highest timelines unfolding before you. And it literally is a memory that you're seeing collapse all around you. So it feels like a deja vu, a remembrance that's happening. Anyway, so this talks about there's something powerful that is going on. Before we join the cycle of life and a human being, we are part of the cosmos, and that feeling of being connected to the stars is a memory of what we were before. This card reminds us that we have star power and star potential. We are all not only but we are not the only star in the world. For when we switch on our light, we attract more star energy and even our own star family. Now, what's super interesting is, check this, right? The Cosmos Oracle message that you have is the Star card. And the Star card refers to someone who is seen as very, very lucky. But it's not that you are lucky, right? Luck is where preparation has met an opportunity. And it just feels like there's an opportunity to rise up to meet the highest version of yourself. And this is someone that's leading by example. And they're also seen as just a brilliant being as a whole. So with Star Family, it feels like you're emitting your own light. You are this a being that's returning back to the eternal light within, that's always forever been guiding their path, something far more ancient that lies within you, right, silently. And then the message is that the stars have aligned and you have found the lost pieces of yourself. So it's this remembrance. You are magnetic and are attracting people and energies and opportunities that will allow your dreams to unfold. It's now your time to shine. This is a time of wishes fulfilled. All of your dedication, focus, and dreaming has paid off, and you can reap the rewards. So this is about you waking up inside of this construct, becoming lucid, and gently guiding your life towards your chosen destination. And, you know, a big part of this energy definitely feels like you stepping into your power, into your knowing. I'm hearing it into your service to the world. So it's important that you know that this plane of existence is your rightful place, and not to spend literally what we said, right, too much time trying to transcend this reality, for you chose to be here at this time, right? Instead, you're seeing through the illusions of it clearly. If you are feeling particularly connected to certain individuals at this time, it's because you're finding your star family, beings you connected with before you entered this physical incarnation. And long as you connected and as you connected into yourself, you're also connecting to your home, right? Now, a big energy that was coming through, and I'm like kind of like stuttering, is because I'm seeing someone create something. So because you're now anchoring in this level of awareness, right, it's also allowing you to anchor in a new frequency, and you're emitting this frequency into the quantum field, and that is being received, okay? And you're drawing something in as a result of that, right? It's as within, so without, as above, so below. And I'm seeing someone create something or action that you're taking in the present moment with this knowing, with this awareness, like knowing why you are where you are, right? Knowing why you're here, why you were seeded onto this planet is huge, because you have the why, right? I keep talking about the why, and you have the why card. So why talks about knowing why you're here, why you want something, and where you want to go. And the reason why you feel so connected to something or drawn towards it is because there is a memory of, you know, where it has already happened for you. And then you also have truth to be told, which is talking about honest and vulnerable discussion that you're going to be having with yourself. And it just feels like you've seen something that you can't unsee. And not following through on this thing in the physical feels like almost like abandoning the soul's journey. And then you have appreciation. So appreciating everything that has brought you to this moment. There was a lot, okay, where it feels like fate was intervening to bring you back into this point of remembrance. And then you have 𝓤𝓸𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓽, longing for home, belonging to the original light workers. So again, there is this knowing that you've had. You know, I'm seeing someone even as a child praying to different kind of planetary star systems. There is always this connection that you've had, or this yearning or longing that you've had, that you've always known there was something deeper within you. You know, that's what it feels like. And it's been that silent part of yourself that was watching. You know, it's not interrupting the soul's process of its own remembering. So wait, it's not yet time, things are being woven. So it feels like information is still going to be something that you're going to have to be receptive to receiving. And I'm also hearing streamlining. So this could be how you're going to act towards something based upon the information that you're going to be receiving in the present moment. You're anchoring the future into the now. That's what it feels like, no matter how small those steps may be. And then you also have falling asleep, spiritual narcolepsy with the feast of plenty, choices and their consequences. This card talks about it's not time to go unconscious, right? You know how almost like the consequences of going unconscious and making unconscious decisions based off of subconscious wounds, and what kind of reality that would collapse into existence, and how that is maybe of a lower octave, right? And as you begin to step into a higher octave or version of reality, because you've aligned with a higher octave within you, which is the one that trusts themselves, right? The one that is so connected with themselves, that you know what choices to avoid, right? This is things that you almost wisdom that you've gathered, right, through experience. You've been able to collect a lot of knowledge, and you're able to impart that wisdom in the way that you choose to step or no longer step moving forward. But this talks about, again, one warning of this selection of timelines that's being revealed to you with choices and their consequences is to avoid choosing something if it leaves you feeling hungry for more, especially on a soul level. It feels like there is no more settling. It feels like there is no more division or separation or parts of yourself that you can neglect or suppress anymore. And it feels like someone that's really stepping into their power now. Let me see. Did I pull a... I think I did. I believe I pulled a tarot message for this. But let's see. Okay, yeah, you do. You have the Knight of Pentacles, and you also have 111 Destiny. So follow what you feel. Listen as your intuition helps to guide you towards what it is that you're manifesting. The inner whispers are helping to create what it is that you desire. Listen, lean in, and follow your soul. So Destiny 111. Now, you also had, where was it? The Knight of Pentacles. Now, in this card, it talks about the entertainer. And it basically talks about, I just feel like there's certain timelines or thoughts that you're choosing to no longer entertain, right? Or ways of feeling. Maybe it's like feeling sorry for yourself in any way, because again, you're remembering that you are no longer a passive observer of your reality, but you're stepping into becoming a sovereign creator, which is taking responsibility, also an accountability for what it is that you created, whether that's consciously or unconsciously. You know, a very enlightened being, which is to see yourself and remember yourself as light, is someone who will ask themselves the question after something downloads into their third dimensional experience, even if it's what appears to be an unfortunate event, but there's always an equivalent opportunity in what seems to be, you know, a challenge. What was my vibrational state at the time that I attracted this job or this person or this experience, right? What was I thinking? What was I feeling, right? What kind of signal was I sending out, maybe even unconsciously? That's why with spiritual narcolepsy, again, you're being told to kind of review and reflect and revise what had happened in the past. Because if you know your past, you will know your future. You know, that's like a strong energy that's coming forth, because you're realizing all that has been is not all that will be, and it's not all that has to be. But change can only happen if there's a change that happens within you. Now, the entrepreneur is somebody no longer settling. It's almost like they've been juggling. And what's super interesting is this person is juggling strawberries. And I was just, if you guys have watched the other reading that I did around Who Are You? You know, you're just about being super powerful, right? And we were sitting at almost like the cave of Mauna Kea, which is almost like a Hanan Pacha style, where there is this impression that's carved quite literally into the earth, right? It's carved into this bedrock, and it's the most ancient energy, and it's something that also symbolizes the Condor, which is higher planes of consciousness, right? Being able to see your life on earth from a higher aerial plane of perspective. There was someone there that was recording today as I walked by, and he was actually juggling, which is super interesting. And I was thinking, oh my god, that video is going to look so cool, because he's literally by the water source. So there could be a moment that you're a moment in time that you're capturing, you know? It's almost like you're able to return back to a still shot, an image, a frame, vibrationy that had taken place, and you're time traveling with the mind. You know how someone returns to their past? Because thought and the mind are the same. What if you traveled at the speed of thought? You're surfing the illusion of time, you're collapsing it, and you're entering into an event that has been, or an event that could be for you. And I'm also hearing could have been. So some of you are doing some kind of quantum healing, where you're giving a past version of yourself something that they needed in that moment, and you're becoming whole, right? And you're healing yourself because of that, and you can carry that frequency into the present moment. So the entertainer, skillful, amusing, and pleasing. A strange-faced man, dressed in a colourful magician's garb, juggles 3 enormous strawberries in the air. The entertainer is always looking for the next crowd to please, no matter if it ends up making himself into a fool. He jumps from party to party, ready to impress the next group of onlookers. He knows many tricks, but when it comes to an emotional connection, he can easily fumble. The entertainer is a conundrum of a character. He has acquired an audience from his notable skills and successes, but has grown too dependent on these tricks to imbue meaning in his life. He measures value based on what there is to gain, rather than in the inherent beauty. In a reading, the entertainer can be good when inquiring on fame and success, but in emotional and spiritual arenas, the entertainer will falter. When it comes to matters of the heart, they can freeze up. So there is a huge energy around you have something beautiful to create in this world, but there has to be fulfillment in the act of creation itself. You cannot create because you're creating based upon how you're going to be perceived, or how something you're creating is going to be received. You have to find happiness in the journey itself, right? It's not about the final outcome of what the canvas is going to look like, but it's about the frequency of every brushstroke, right? It's about the frequency of every small action you take to ground and anchor the highest version of reality into the now. It's like, again, knowing your why. It's like action without meaning will always be a void. You know, progress without purpose is the illusion of forward movement, or the evolution of the soul, you know, in its highest possible expression. It's almost like aligned action is something that you're being called back to right now, turning inwards and remembering a why. Do it like no one is watching, because anyone that is watching is just a reflection of you anyway. That's like what's coming through. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna love and leave you right there. It's a beautiful message, and yeah, I'll speak to you very, very soon. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. Love to be around. Personal reading details are also down below. Also check out Otter Spirit if you guys are looking for some high quality AA grade jewelry. $1 of the proceeds are donated towards Otter Sanctuaries. You have 2 discount codes for that in the description box. And if you've made it to this point, comment down below what signal you've been sending out into the quantum field, and represent that in maybe a word or an emoji. What do you feel like would be symbolic of the signal you've been sending out? Do you feel like it's a lightning bolt? Do you feel like it's a star energy? Do you feel like it's a asteroid, portal, the white rabbit, you know? I'm curious about what's around the corner. Surprise me, universe. It kind of reminds me of that. So yeah, anyway, I look forward to seeing them, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Until next time, bye.
Clouds in the sky, don't care if I stay all day. Dreaming of time. would